Oh my God. Throughout the centuries, there have been countless disappearances in our state and national parks. What distinguishes these cases from others, however, are the increasingly baffling details surrounding them. Could there be something supernatural lurking in the woods, searching for its next victim? Perhaps we will never know. Today, I will delve into some of the most peculiar missing persons cases from state parks. The case of Jason Lewis Kyles. Jason Lewis Kyles was missing from Santa Rosa, California. Endangered missing is the classification. Was born on 7/28/1978. Is 34 years of age, 6'6", 185 pounds. Was naked except for a plain white gold wedding band on his finger. The medical conditions list him as having seasonal depression and took medical marijuana to control his condition. He stopped taking the drug prior to his disappearance. He is apparently suffering from a severe form of mental illness, possibly a bipolar disorder. Distinguishing characteristics are, he is a Caucasian male, has brown hair, blue eyes, and may have a reddish-colored beard. Jason was last seen near Marsh Trail and Annandale State Park. Since then, he has not been heard from since. Authorities launched a search and rescue operation for 6 days before losing hope and closing the search. As mentioned before, Jason was known to battle depression and recently stopped taking his prescribed medications. People close to him mentioned signs of weird behavior. He was plagued with insomnia, would talk very quickly, and was seemingly, out of nowhere, fixated on religion. Roughly, around a week later, he was noted to have packed up his truck, which was a Ford make, and he packed it seemingly full of random items. These items included a bird bath, his son's guitar, and various photos of the family. As he drove away from his home, he left nothing but a simple note stating he would be visiting his cousin in New York City and chase his dream of being a famous musician. This was only the start of the truly creepy mystery that this would turn out to be. The following morning, Sonoma County officers came upon Jason's truck, parked just outside of Annandale State Park's border. A local told officials she had found Jason in her barn at around 9 a.m. She claimed he was crying and said that the horses were sad. But wait, that's not all, folks. Later that morning, a local on a bike ride mentioned seeing Jason in the park naked and chanting something he couldn't make out. Officials would later find Jason's clothing and shoes in the woods, with the tags removed from every item. Even stranger, Christmas ornaments and magnets were found in his pockets. Officials came to the conclusion that Jason must have had some sort of psychotic break and suffered amnesia and hasn't realized it yet. They theorize he could be living on the streets of Santa Barbara, somewhere among the homeless population. But, as of right now, this case is unsolved. The case of Maura Marie. Maura Murray, missing from Haverhill, New Hampshire, with an endangered missing classification. Maura was born 5/4/1982, was 21 years of age when she went missing. She was around 5'7" and 120 pounds. She was last seen wearing a dark-colored coat and jeans. She was a Caucasian female, light brown hair and brown eyes. Maura lost control of her vehicle and crashed into a snowbank in 2004. A local passing by called police, and she claimed she did not need help or want any. A little over 10 minutes later, the police arrived at Maura's car, and it was locked and she was gone. There were no footprints to be found in the snow. Even with canines on the scent, the dogs couldn't pick up anything, not a single trace. After months of tireless and hard work, it was found that Maura had taken $280 from her bank account and emailed her college teacher, lying about a death in the family. All of her important items, such as credit cards, cell phone, maps, and other stuff, were found in the back seat of her car. In her dorm room, officials found all of her belongings packed up in boxes. But, despite all the leads, nothing has been found and she remains missing. Now, Maura's case is pretty interesting. How could someone just vanish seemingly right off the side of the road? The case of Randy Charles. Randy was described as being a white male, 5'11", 180 pounds, with blonde collared length hair, green eyes, light complexion, and no tattoos. He was last seen wearing camouflage pants, dark colored t-shirt, army green jacket, and an army green backpack. The last circumstances before he went missing was that he was dropped off on Tipton and Whitewater roads, somewhere around Riverside. He was reportedly seen again at the base of San Jacinto Mountains between 1200 and 1300 hours. After that, no one has seen him since. Randy Spring is a U.S. Army veteran who was working for the California Department of Forestry and was a known volunteer firefighter when he seemingly vanished into thin air, which of course would worry a lot of people, seeing as he is a U.S. Army veteran and he is also a forestry worker, so getting lost in the woods seems very unlikely for somebody like that. Also, being a volunteer firefighter on top of that, I just feel that this guy would be somebody who wouldn't just get lost. On October 10th, 1988, Randy asked to be dropped off at an intersection on Interstate 10 in Riverside, California. He was planning on taking a few days to himself and hiking in nature. He said after this trip was over, he would call home for a ride or hitchhike. No one seems to know what happened to Randy Spring. It's as if he went into the forest and was engulfed by nature. Hopefully, one day, the family will find closure, and all of us will be able to find the same. Thanks for tuning in to this video. If you found it enjoyable, please consider giving it a thumbs up, as it greatly supports me. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another upload. I post videos almost daily, covering all things eerie and mysterious. If you have a story or a missing person's case you'd like me to explore in future videos, feel free to send it to the email provided. Thanks everyone, and see you soon.